think it's a game, but it is absolutely not, okay? This is the energy supplement from Just Move Supplements. That's right. It's damn near all gone, girl. And that's because I had to get that energy up so I can complete the workout, so I can give y'all this body, this transformation, get into it, okay? And I'm done working out now, so that's why we're moving on to the protein shake. Oh yes, it's already in there, girl. It's already made right here. This is the mixture of the banana pudding, the chocolate cake, and the buttercream cupcake. And you really want to be fancy, you can go ahead and add that blueberry muffin if that's what you want to do, girl. But for me, it's these three right here, okay? You put that with some almond milk, you mix it all up in honey, okay? Your muscles have gained life, new energy, agility. Get into it, okay? Just Move Supplements. Thank you very much. Hold up, Chief. Okay, don't forget about that TLC NutriBurst to get that multivitamin probably, because we all need a little extra. And child, if you want that sea moss that go down smooth, don't come up rough, okay? Get into the TLC Nautica sea moss. Yes, get that from me. And child, if your stomach hurt and you need to move some things around so you can be free, okay, go ahead and get that ISO tea down below in the description box. Get it all from me. Come on in, come on in, come on in, not come on in, not come. Sorry, y'all know I'm weird, whatever.
Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl BondyBlue. So let's go ahead. Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl BondyBlue. Okay, follow me on Instagram and let's get into the video, right?
Hey everybody, what's up? Hi everybody, what's going on? Okay, we're back. We're back for another Ratchet reality. We're going to get into commit or quit, and we're also going to get into marriage boot camp. Yes, okay. So, how's everybody doing on this good Sunday? Hi, girl. Hi. Listen, I want y'all to bear with me today because like I am tired. Girl, really more so I'm a little wore out. Like I'm realizing now that I'm getting older, I can't just go out and do all this damn drinking without like feeling it the next day, especially if I don't have any liquid IVs. So IVs. So I need to go to the store and get some more liquid IVs. Girl, but the workout from yesterday has my body hurting. Like I went in. I don't know if you watch my Instagram videos where I post my workouts, but y'all should follow me on Instagram because that's why I do that at. You were showing out last night. We had so much fun. That's what the liquor came in. And then I was pacing myself too. So you know how like if you pace yourself well with the alcohol, you could literally be lit the whole night without too much crash. You know what I'm saying? Meaning like you're not doing too much to the point where you can't drive and all of that. Start off with 2 drinks. You eat a whole meal. You know what I'm saying? You drink some water. I had an energy supplement in my car in between. Okay. Like I had a good time last night. You look good though, giving Ursula realness. Listen, okay. Hey, okay, I'm not gonna do it. But anyway, y'all, let's get into the show of it all. I don't have a picture. I have to get a picture for the other couple because I don't have a picture for them. I'm sorry, y'all. Like when I tell y'all, I literally woke up and was like, let me just go make these notes because I had to go and rewatch Commit or Quit. I also had to go and watch Love and Marriage Huntsville. If you are a member of my channel, then you know Love and Marriage Huntsville live will be right after this one. I'm sorry, I'm hearing something. Looking around like, what the fuck is that sound? So yeah, right after this, we're going to be getting into Love and Marriage Huntsville. Baby, I have opinions. I have so many opinions about a lot of stuff. And I feel like Dr. Phil was on the TV when I came upstairs, okay? Because I'm watching shit that's recorded. And so whatever came on after the show was Dr. Phil. And Dr. Phil says to the lady, because the lady was like, when you walk in these shoes, if you don't walk in these shoes, then you don't understand. And he was like, and if you walk in these shoes, then you'll be able to see bullshit. Okay, be able to know bullshit when you see it.
And when he said that, I was dying laughing because I was like, that's how I feel about myself. I feel like I don't care what nobody's talking about. I just be seeing the bullshit of it all. Like it really be some bullshit. And like one of the things that I feel like is some bullshit is the overall feeling that women are like constantly lying to themselves and to the men around them, like for delusions. Like going along with the men who are lying, like committed or quit had my nerves bad because I was like, why are we not discussing what he's doing to cause the issue? I feel like the whole time they were talking about whatever went on between London and Andre, they're talking about the things that London has done, but they're not talking about what he did in order to get her there. You see what I'm saying? And hold up, y'all. Oh, no, that's not what I needed to do. Y'all, my mind. Okay. Sorry. I'm trying to get this screenshot. My mind's telling me no. Why am I singing R. Kelly? Because something's wrong. Fuck. But yeah, okay. So I just really feel like throughout the whole situation, it was just a lot of ignoring what I feel like was some of the main issues that they were having. Like at one point, Judge was just straight up like it's all on her. Like this is all you, this was all you. And I'm like, but we're not dealing with why she did all of that. And that's starting to really like annoy me. So y'all almost done. We're gonna get it. We're gonna get it in. Um, I just need to get this picture right quick, right fast. And it's just, your timing has to be on point. Okay. Your timing has to be on point. Child, that picture gonna have to work because I don't have time for nothing else. Okay. All right, y'all. So oh, thank you, love. Where did I get these earrings from? Somebody sent me these earrings and now I didn't forgot where I got them from. I probably posted about them and I just forgot. She does look like Regine. She's super cute. And she's super cute, but you could tell for one, she's spoiled. For two, she doesn't know how to control her emotions. um she's a ghetto girl, like for lack of a better term. Like you're a ghetto girl, everything is about what it looked like and it's not really into your inner development. Like that you're doing the wrong thing or acting ratchet, like but you don't care because you feel like what's being done um is causing you to feel away. And I feel like ultimately London, even if you take the blame, Dr. Phil did say that. Even he said, if you walked in these shoes, then you'd be able to see it. Bullshit when you see it. Okay, you have these shoes, bullshit when you see it. I was like, yes, that's exactly how I feel. Um, but yeah, everything absolutely was her fault in the situation. And this is why I feel like women should just often, if they find that they're unhappy, just take yourself out the situation, because no matter what, you're going to be the blame. So it's easier not to even have to deal with all of that. If you're in a relationship and you've corrected yourself, because I feel like we weren't even dealing with the fact that London said that she wait, no, Bondi, they talking about why Dr. Phil lost his license. Oh, I don't know about all of that. But I just meant the comment that he made before I came up here, like made me feel like, yeah, because people think that because they're upset, that means that they're feeling something that other people who can control themselves aren't feeling. And it's like, no, you're not. You're not. You're really not. If you think that most people don't want to jump out of their fucking skin whenever somebody is playing in their face, disrespecting them, lying to them, like if you think that that's not what they want to do, you're out of your mind. They absolutely do, but they're weighing the pros and the cons, and they will most likely put themselves in a fucked up situation. And it's easier and a better decision to just ignore you and allow you to go ahead and be, the agent of chaos that you are. Okay, so London wants Judge to see the good in them and not the bad. She said that a lot. And it made me feel like, yeah, but then you have to also be the good. You don't want to be held accountable for how you come off. You want people to ignore the things that you do because you don't feel like that's really who you are. Well, okay, if that's really not who you are, then I need for that not to be the way you react most of the time. Okay? they can't even decide who should speak first. Seems like she wanted him to say what his issue was before she said what hers was. She says he takes her name off of authorization on their credit cards. He'll turn her cell phone off. He's watching her on cameras inside of the house. He says he doesn't watch her all day. He's too busy for that. But there were cameras in his house when she moved in and he did not remove them. And so she cut the wires and flushed them down the toilet. And he feels like she doesn't have respect for money because they cost so much. And I understand you feeling like she doesn't have respect for money, but I also feel like, why are we ignoring how invasive that is? If you were living alone and you had cameras in your house, that's fine. But if this lady is now moved into your home and says that doesn't make me comfortable, and you leave them up because you really do want to watch her. And to be honest, I feel like the only reason it's an issue for her is because you've probably told her, come home mad about something that you saw on cameras. Okay. You probably came home and said something that you shouldn't have said because you shouldn't have been watching her, but you were. So don't act like you don't watch her on the cameras because you absolutely do. The cutting off the money, the cutting off the cell phone because she's texting him crazy, all of that is acts of control. All of that. Okay? All of that is a lot. He says that he doesn't watch her all day and all of that. What else? Okay. She calls him a bitch constantly. She told him he sounded weak when he said he didn't invite her out because his friends don't like her. And then they watch the video and it's all about her feeling embarrassed and her watching herself interrupt him and scream and all of that. And let me say this, I do feel like in relationships there should be a boundary that you should not cross. Okay, as a couple, there needs to be things that you will not say to each other. There needs to be a space of which you will not go below when you are talking to a person that you love. Once you have done that, you have now allowed for everything else to come into the situation and rot it from the inside out. I'm just telling you. Like, you cannot talk to your partner any old kind of way and think that that is not going to have long lasting damage on how y'all relate to each other if you're constantly stabbing each other in the gut whenever y'all have an argument. It's not a safe space to be in, first of all. Okay. So for her to be calling him a bitch and calling him weak, it's because she feels so out of control and because she feels so weak. She's projecting that feeling onto him. But also, how are we supposed to describe a man telling his wife that she's not invited to go out because his friends don't like her? What exactly does that sound like to you? He's either lying or his friend's opinion matters more than his wife's. That's an issue. Either way, whether you want to call it weak, I would call it weak for you to be more moved by another man's opinion of you than your wife. I would feel like that because 9 times out of 10, niggas' opinion of you comes with jealousy, comes with them hating on you in some respect. I'm not saying that that's their situation. I feel like London has done things to make Andre's friends feel away, but everybody probably ignores all of the things that Andre says and does to London in order to get her to that place in the first place. I didn't want to say place twice. I was trying to find another word. It didn't happen. But his energy, I feel like she wanted him to talk first because he's probably one of those people that waits until you say what your issue is so that he can come up with a reason similar to what you're complaining about as his reason for having an issue with you. It's not a real issue that he really has, which is why she probably wanted him to say what his issue with her was first. And also so that she would be able to correct him. That's what she said, so I could correct you, because he's going to lie. Okay. And that's what annoyed me about the conversation and about their whole episode, because I felt like we were constantly ignoring what was happening. Okay. So London doesn't want their marriage judged off of the bad things that have happened, but I think she doesn't understand that they need to be. You need to be judging your relationship based off of the things that have happened. Like, what? Andre got annulment papers. London has separation papers. Y'all are going tit for tat at this point. I think he drew the annulment papers up to hurt her. I think that she grew up the separation papers to hurt him. He loves how supportive she is. She loves that he's a provider. They were asked to say what they love about each other. If all you love about him is that he's a provider, That's not enough. And he loves how supportive she is. So I want y'all to recognize that emotional support should go both ways, right? So when he says that he loves how supportive she is, but then what I hear in my mind is all of the tearing her down about her weight, telling her she's crazy. You don't emotionally support her, but because you financially provide, you feel like that should be enough. So this is the thing for me, and this is what I was trying to explain. It's one thing for two people to be in a relationship having issues, tit for tat, both being petty, both having a problem. But I think it's another thing to see that a man is trying to tear a woman's self-esteem down to make themselves feel better, or to keep that woman in his control, which I feel like is really what it's about. And this is why I feel like men do this on purpose. The men who do actively seek out women that are younger than them, and then they pick women who they know are probably volatile. Y'all have been dating on and off for what y'all said about 7 years. So the idea that they don't know each other just because they weren't in the same state, or just because they weren't living together, is bullshit to me. Okay, I think they know exactly who the other person is. I think he knows that she's someone that can be volatile, so he can do things, and then people will perceive her as being as her being the problem because she's the one that acts crazy. Like Judge said on the last episode, he says little slick shit and drives it in there. You know what I'm saying? He little slick, nice, sleek slits all over the place out of nowhere. And y'all, I feel like because I've experienced that in relationships, there are men, y'all, that you really can't be nice to because they gonna just keep saying shit to you. I have absolutely experienced that. And I feel like that's what he was doing to her. Like, we watched them in moments where nothing was to be argued about, and he's making little slick ass comments. And then when she finally gets upset and starts to do crazy shit, then she's the crazy one. She talks about how the wine bottles, because y'all know they kept showing us this instance where she had ripped his shirt and there were wine bottles and glass all over the place, like they were, something happened, like she was just throwing shit and acting a fool, right? She says, no, we were tussling and the wine bottles broke. So what tussling sound like to you? That doesn't sound like she just was beating up on him. And I also want to know, why was she beating up on him if that's what was going on? Why was your shirt ripped? Why was your shirt ripped? We're leaving out why the argument even happened, y'all. They never discussed why it happened. And that was so weird to me. He calls her aggressive and ratchet. She shows us all the things he buys her. He says marriage changed her. They dated from different states and then got married. She said she tamed her mouth for him. She said she was doing real good, and he was still saying little slick stuff and egging her on, like he was trying to get a reaction out of her, even when she was doing what he asked her to do, which was stop talking to him crazy. See, that's what I mean. Like, at that point, you have to then try to understand as a man, why are you trying to start arguments, or why are you antagonizing your woman? Why do you want her to feel bad? Because if you keep her off kilter, then she's out of control. Then you can control her easily. I believe that Andre is one of those old niggas that has been taught how to mentally manipulate a woman over time so that they can try to weaken her. I feel like when they weren't living together, he wasn't able to really do that. When they moved in together, he really tried to implement all of the things he knows to do to control her. And it wasn't really working because, first of all, it's hard to control her mind, as far as like her not coming back at you and just being weak. But if y'all paid attention, by the time we got to the end of the episode, I feel like both of them were exhausted, but she seemed tapped the fuck out. And I'm glad. I think it was embarrassment, it was hurt, and all of that. But ultimately, I feel like I hope that she is better from here. And when she finds the next relationship, she isn't this person in that relationship, because I feel like he's going to be this person no matter what. And that's what makes me feel like maybe Judge feels like I can't really do anything about the way this man thinks, and I can tell. So I'm not even going to try. I'm going to work on her because I feel like I can make her better. I can't do nothing with him. So I'm just going to let it be what it is. You know what I'm saying? I almost feel like that's how Judge felt. Like, because I know Judge is so intuitive. There's no way that she's not picking up on what he's doing, especially because she made a comment about it once she gave her verdict, which we'll get to. But they talked about how her dad really likes him, but her mom doesn't. Andre says London thinks that she can get away with things because she's married. And I'm like, what does that mean? Get away with what? Get away with what because she's married? I'm just, it wasn't a lot of understanding in what was being said in some moments, but it gave me the tone that you don't want her to think too highly of herself. Like, that's what it made me feel like. And based off the way you talk to her and the way you kind of throw slugs at her all the time, it definitely makes me feel like Andre does not want London to think too highly of herself. Even though she's beautiful. And and I think she's smart. She seems like she comes from a good family. She just don't know how to control her emotions. Right. Exactly. She needs to run for the hills, especially if they have no kids. Oh yeah, please run and get out of that situation. And also get out of this mindset that because a man can provide for you like your daddy provided for your mom, that's all that needs to be provided. Like, money is not the only thing that a man needs to provide. Women need to realize that, and so do men. You need to provide something besides money, sir. Relationships need more than just financial support. I don't know if you know that, but they do. Financial arrangements don't, but relationships need more than financial support. It is what it is. He called the police on her when they got into that fight, which was another bitch move to me. I'm sorry. Like, I get it, y'all. Like, I get it, but it seemed like something that was done. I don't know what I'm hearing. It sounds like a fly. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. It's annoying me. Thank you, Mary Sparkles. Like, whoa, he wants to knock her down a peg. He's sorry. Yeah, no, exactly. That's what it feels like. And a man like him needs her to be broken spiritually. It seemed like that's what he was like working towards. That's why it's all these little comments over time, all of these little things over time. You still, trying to act like you love her, you buy her things and all of that shit, but ultimately it's all a method of control. Judge talks to her friend over video chat, and she says that he controls London with the finances. He will come inside with stuff for him and not for her, like to make her feel bad. That's what I'm talking about, like intentionally making her feel bad. Okay. And I don't think she understands why he's doing it. Like, she just doesn't get it. So she doesn't know how to verbalize what he's doing. But I think her friend is able to see it because she may be sitting there seeing it for herself as a woman and seeing how he's talking to her and all of that. Whereas he's probably not going to do all of that shit in front of his homeboys. He's not going to like really show his ass like that. Babe, you trying to come in here? I mean, if you wanted to, you don't have to. But anyway. They argue about what was said, and she start after Judge left. Oh yeah. Her friend also said that she was dating a guy from the hood 2 to 3 weeks before they got married. So yeah, I don't understand what we're doing here. I don't understand what we're doing here at all. However, I'd like to say, I feel like marriage is to take somebody off the market. So unless he has evidence of her cheating during the marriage, I don't really give a fuck about what she was doing 2 to 3 weeks before their wedding. Like, can I be real and say like that marriage is to take a person off the market? Like, that's what that's for. So if I was on the market and then when you married me, I got off, then what are we talking about? Whereas I feel like he's cheating in their relationship. Okay. They argue about what was said with Judge Lynn, and she was like, I feel like I can take accountability, but you can't. And he was like, what? You never take accountability. And she did take accountability several times throughout their sitting with with Judge. And I feel like he didn't. Thank you for the super chat. Mary Sparkle's like, well, if I didn't say that, thank you. But yeah, I feel like this was one of those arguments where they were cutting a lot of things out, and then eventually she says he's a bitch, he's weak. And that's like, he said something and she was like, why would you say that? That's like me saying that, your daddy leaving your mama made her, leaving your mama made her a single mom. And it's like, well, that's kind of what happened. That's a fact. So I don't understand why we get upset about facts the way we do. Y'all often perceive the truth as bashing or the truth as disrespectful, and I don't subscribe to that mindset. I think there is a way to be nasty for sure, but I also feel like the facts of a situation are the facts of a situation. It doesn't need to be nasty. If you perceive it as disrespect, that's because you just don't like hearing the truth and that bothers you, so you have to categorize it as something that's an assault on you, so that you don't have to take accountability for what you were doing. Because like the bad feeling you feel is supposed to make you like be accountable. That's why you feel bad. The bad feeling is not supposed to make you like flip it on the other person for bringing it up in the first place. Like, you're not supposed to tell me when I was doing something wrong. That shit is obnoxious as shit to me. Child, why do we get mad at the facts like we do that? I don't get it. And I feel like I'm so tired of people calling shit bashing. Like we gonna talk about Put a Ring on It at some point. I have to finish watching Put a Ring on It, and I have to watch the other Love and Marriage Huntsville. So I don't know if I'm gonna give y'all that video today. It's probably gonna be tomorrow. But like I said, I watched Love and Marriage Huntsville, so we're gonna do that one for my members after this. But anyway, y'all. So Andre, hold up. They argued about it. I feel like he said something to her that was edited out. But either way, she went to calling him a bitch and saying he was weak and all of that. Judge meets Andre's friend, who says that he told him to marry her, but that was until he realized how bad she was and how crazy she was, and shows evidence of how she broke his headphones and tore up those annulment papers like right after Judge left. Because after they got into that argument and the cameras left, she must have went ape shit. And Judge says that London is out of control. Judge talks to her and we find out that he stayed out late that night. Like, we saw her laying in the bed by herself. So apparently he did not come home. And when she went downstairs, he would sleep on the sofa, which was another tactic to make her feel away. So she ended up going through his book bag and he snatched the book bag from her. And this is another situation that makes me feel like, are we really going to act like when they got into it, it was just her attacking him? And then, when it's obvious that they get physical with each other, because he went to snatch that shit away from her, which can cause what? A motherfucking tussle. Okay. But she didn't rise up like the judge told her to, and she really should have. But she says that she gets a lot of her evidence out of his book bag. And that's why I was like, see, that's what I'm talking about. What evidence do you get out of the book bag? That he's cheating, right? Because when y'all get into it, he likes to stay out late, like you said. So whenever y'all get into it, when he's been fucking with you for the whole day, so he can get out of the house and go do what he wants to do. Okay. I'm just saying, like, that's sometimes how it seems to me. That men start arguments in these situations when they don't want to come home. They start arguments so that they can have a reason to be out somewhere. We were arguing, so I was out somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Versus the situation of you creating the argument in the first place so that you can get out and go do what you want to do. Men are very manipulative like that, and I think people really act like they're not doing what they're doing, and I'm not doing that with y'all. Like, I definitely can see the mental that's going on in the situation, the manipulation that's going on in the situation. But Judge told her that she walks all over him. And that's what I don't like about the conversation. You walk all over him. I feel like, I don't know if she walks over him, because I don't see him as a weakling in this situation, like at least not to her. What he does is honestly very aggressive towards her, very passive aggressive, but it's aggressive. It's not like he's not doing her anything and she's just beating him over the head with shit. And I just didn't like the fact that it was described as, all her fault. Like it was all on her, and it's like, I mean, he didn't come home. We're not going to deal with that. But okay, fine. They edited something out, but she did or said something that Judge felt like, what type of man is going to accept that? And so I feel like London is absolutely disrespectful and volatile. And like she said, you need to go and get some therapy so that you can be a better person for a less toxic nigga. But the truth of the matter is, you're toxic too. And he is using your toxicity to make a fool of you while he gets to have you, control you, and do whatever he wants to do out in the world. He's grooming you. And I believe that he had been trying to groom you for years, but it wasn't exactly working because y'all weren't in the same state. Now that y'all are in the same house, he was trying to implement the grooming, and it was not happening the way he wanted it to happen. I believe a lot of Andre not talking during a lot of the segments is not only because London is interrupting him, because she is, but I also feel like he gets to say whatever he wants to say when he wants to throw slugs at her. So don't act like her interrupting you stops you from communicating how you feel, because it doesn't stop you from communicating how you feel when it's negative about her. So I just kind of feel like it's a cop out to act as if you can't communicate how you really feel because she's always interrupting you. Because that's what they called her to task for. Anyway, come on. Come on in. Come on in.
Come on in, not come on in, not come on in.
Not come. Not come. Not come. Babe, you're doing a lot. Sorry.
You said
Listen, it's a song. Anyway. So Judge says that they don't understand their vows. She wants them to rewrite their vows and a goodbye letter. She says that he needs to respect the things that she does because it's out of love. And I'm like, no, sis, it's not. It's not out of love. It's out of exhaustion. It's out of mind control. Okay, y'all need to be together. You hear that, babe?
I brought that in?
No.
Oh,
I just don't know where it's coming from. Judge gives them the verdict once they write everything, and she says they need to quit it. You need to quit it. Okay. London is ready to be a wife. I'm sorry, isn't ready to be a wife. And oh, he's gonna kill a fly. Do you see it?
No.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know. That's so weird. Right, that's so weird. Okay. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. But the fly is really annoying me. I don't know. Y'all probably can't hear the buzz, 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 but it's like loud. Anyway, Judge tells them they need to quit it. London isn't ready to be a wife, and he needs to be a husband that's able to control himself. When Judge said that, that's what made me realize that if they edited it out or they didn't discuss it, Judge was still aware that he was out of control of himself as well, meaning you were cheating. He says he's sorry for saying what he said to retaliate, which made me feel like you're not taking any real accountability for the things that you say, because you're acting like every time you said something to her, it was in response to something she said to you, when we saw that was not the case. We saw several times when she wasn't saying anything to you negative and you were throwing shots at her consistently. Like, I don't even know what you're talking about. Anyway, but he apologizes if he hurt her. And I'm like, if you hurt her, okay, fine. They don't want to say goodbye, but they have to say their goodbyes. He admits that he has things he needs to work on, and so does she. But he doesn't feel like it's over. He leaves the house. He says, he says that people need to live with someone before they get married. He says he's never getting married again. I was like, oh yeah, you never getting married again? Why is that? Like, it's funny to me the way a nigga would throw that out there. Like, what that's supposed to make me feel bad because you saying that you ain't gonna get married again, nigga. Like, oh well, don't get married again. Don't nobody need to get married to you anyway. You don't know what you're doing. Like, nobody needs to get married to you. You don't know what you're doing. You're trying to abuse people. I think you don't want to get married again because you don't want to be financially responsible for the women you try to control. I think you realize maybe you can get away with less. I don't have to marry you. I can fuck you and, do whatever I want to do, which you can and you should. But I feel like you probably realize that you can't be faithful. So that's another thing. She doesn't think that it's over, but they got the marriage annulled 2 months later. Like this, like that, like that, like this. We're about to move on to the next couple. Hold up, y'all. Let me just give me a second to see if I can whip this together very quickly. Let's see. Let's see if I can do that. If I can, it'll be great. If I can, it'll be great. In the meantime, can you guys like the video? Can you also like leave your comments, and let me know what you think about this situation? Because I'm really interested to know. I also would like for y'all to share the video. You know what I'm saying? Stop stalking me and being hater ass bitches and stuff. Like, stop doing that. That's not fun. It's not cool. I'm just being facetious. Okay, hold up. I'm trying to make the graphic. That's what's happening. I'm trying to make the graphic, and I'm not making it as lovely as I normally do, which is annoying me. But I don't have the time, and I barely had the energy, girl. And that's the truth of the matter. But we need the visual. Oh, so much liquor last night, y'all. I'm struggling. I need another coffee because my other coffee got cold, and then it was just like, it's over. It's all over. All right, y'all, hold up. It's coming. 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 What? Only they got like less than 300 people in here today. Ooh. It sounds like outside.
Think it's bees?
It may be.
Oh, fuck. I don't like bees.
None of us do. All right. It might be outside, like on the outside of the house, and we're hearing it. We're just gonna knock it down or something. All right, y'all, we're back. Okay, we have the graphic. Y'all see Brian and Ayana married for 4 years. She's 46. He's 36. She's dealt with a lot of trauma recently. Her business fell apart. 3 of her siblings died. Babe, I need something to drink. I'm fitting to die. All right. I know you. I need you to bring me something to drink before you go to Home Depot. Home Depot not about to close. No love for a bitch working on Sunday. Anyway, so like I said, Brian and Ayana, 46, 36. She's been through a lot recently. I think her restaurant failed. Then her stepbrother died. Her biological brother died. Then her sister died, all in the same year. She needs to go through therapy to deal with her trauma, obviously. And she blames him. She blames him because he's there. It's not his fault, but he's there. And then I believe he's another one of these cheating ass niggas. Like, it's giving Winston from Stella Got a Groove Bag, but the real Winston, not the one from the movie. In real life, it was given, I'm a rich young man that's taking advantage of an older rich woman. I'm sorry, I'm a young poor man taking advantage of an older rich woman, or maybe not rich, but just more financially stable. She can take care of me. I can come to the States with her. And then I can also fuck on other young girls, go out all night because I'm a Jamaican man, so I can do whatever I want to do. You're not going to tell me what to do. I'm going to go out till 3 a.m. if that's what I want to do. Like all of that shit. Like he was talking that shit. And I was I'm like, say you're a Jamaican man one more time. Say you're a Jamaican man one more time. Like nobody cares. Nobody cares where you're from, dude. All of y'all niggas think the same. I don't know if you think you're saying something different, but you're not. Like the dudes here think the same way you do. They just don't say that they're a Jamaican dude before they say it. Like the fuck. But he has a whole bunch of single friends. He stays out late. He feels like he's in a prison talking about she always telling me what to do. And it's like, does she pay all the bills? Does she pay all the bills and do what you want to do, involve fucking other women? Because I feel like this is the thing that works on my nerves. If you want to be a hoe, I get it, but you can just go be with a woman that will allow you the grace to do that. There are some women that won't mind, and there are other women that will. But y'all think that, y'all should just be able to do whatever the fuck y'all want to do, and the woman should just have to sit there and deal with it. Then when they talked about the fact that he wants a legacy, he's a hardworking man, he wants a legacy. He wants children, and you're with a 46-year-old woman. It's like, what are you even talking about? Do you not understand biologically that she can't have children? Probably. It was already hard when she was younger, and now she's 46. And then you turn around and say that, a friend of mine said, you just go out and get the girl pregnant and then you bring the baby home after a certain amount of time. I said, oh, okay. She's not gonna leave you. Do y'all hear? This is why I tell y'all that they know what they're doing. Because that means that you would actively go out and get another woman pregnant so that you could bring a baby home and convince your wife to take care of the baby because you know she won't leave you. Do y'all hear this shit? Like, I know what in the All-American homecoming is going on. And that's what I'm saying, y'all. Like, that's crazy to me that this man would expect such crazy shit from her. Like, it's crazy to me. I just, and he said it like he didn't think it was a bad idea. Child, listen, he can't deal. I think he has a hard time communicating, and I think he wants to just be able to do whatever he wants to do, and he wants her to go along with it. I do think she needs to get some help for herself because I think she's going through a hell of a lot right now, and it's not his fault, and he also can't help her. You know what I'm saying? He can't help her fix what's going on. So she needs to just go ahead and be by herself and get her life. And I just kind of feel like, I guess you feel like as long as you got a good dick, you good. Okay, well, you need to be real with yourself about what the good dick is giving. Okay, the good dick is giving is going to be for everybody. The good dick is giving that eventually he's going to go out and get some girl pregnant and then bring a baby home to you. So don't be surprised when it happens. And if you're staying with him, then you are going along with that. So when it happens, don't lose your shit because you've agreed to it because he's already vocalized what his plans are. So when it happens, just know that you signed up for it. Okay? All right. Now, if you decide to leave, then by all means, leave him, girl. Nobody's saying you have to stay with this man. But what I'm saying is don't be a victim. Don't flip the fuck out. Don't do all of the crazy shit. Woe is me. When you know who he is and you chose to accept it because he has good dick and you don't want to be alone. Right. They be thotting and then judge the women that they thotting with. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I don't even understand. And she's older, so she's more inclined to deal with this bullshit than women my age. Okay. But y'all, don't give the women my age too much credit because them hoes be on bullshit too. All right, y'all. We're about to move on into marriage boot camp. But before we do, can y'all please do me a favor? I can't with your imitation. Listen. It's not the best. It's the best I can do. Okay, for right now. I used to have a real good one. But it's not a mocking thing. I hope it isn't perceived like that. I really like the accent. The accent is very close to mine. But whatever. These men and their entitled mindset is crazy. It really is. And I feel like I wish people would see it instead of feeling like women are wrong or women are crazy for pointing it out or saying that it doesn't make them feel good. You know what I'm saying? Like, I saw a lot of, like, in the comments when we did the Ooh Ladies First panel, we were talking about Monique and Chris Samuels from Love and Marriage DC. And people were saying that she knew who he was when she married him. I'm like, that's real stupid. Like, that's real stupid when you say that, because first of all, most people aren't like, are we really going to act like when you first get married to somebody, it's the same as when you've been married for 10 plus years? Even when you be in a relationship, it's different at the very beginning than it is 10 years in. And people do change. And then what you need changes, especially women in their 30s. You get with a woman in her 20s, and then by the time she's in her mid to late 30s, she's a different type of person. She knows what she wants. She understands what she needs, and she's going to start to require that of the person she's in a relationship with. And you have all of these people acting like it's the most ridiculous thing to say, I need more from my husband just because he's giving something. So the fuck what? If I want more from my husband, then I can ask for more from my husband. That doesn't mean I'm ungrateful. That doesn't mean I don't deserve more. That doesn't mean I should just shut up because he pays bills. That's insane that y'all feel like people should have to suffer in silence because men shouldn't have to deal with what their women need from them. Like, what are y'all even talking about at this point? Like, I'm personally feeling like I would just get a vibrator and get a whole bunch of really good girlfriends and make sure that I scheduled my time to go and have fun, girl. And I make sure I had a dick appointment or something. Like if I wasn't married, but I would not be out here thirsty for no man or listening to you whack ass old bitches advice on how to deal with bullshit from a man just so you don't be lonely, bitch. I'd rather be alone and happy than laid up dealing with somebody that make me feel like I got a knot in my fucking throat all the time because they always quieting me, always telling me to shut up about how I feel, always telling me that what I'm feeling isn't important or what I'm saying is crazy when they know good and goddamn well that they playing in my face. And y'all, it's across the board. It's not even just on that show. Love and Marriage Huntsville, I was like, the way Kimmy, and we're going to get into it, my members, but I'm going to just say this right now. The way I see Kimmy quieting her mind because she know this nigga is talking crazy to her. Like, she knows he's bullshitting with her. She knows that he's playing with her intelligence. And she's eating it. Like, literally sitting there. I know I'm smarter than this stupid ass nigga, and he think he's smarter than me. But I'm really letting him have his way because I just want peace and happiness and good dick in my life, and a man to take the trash out. Like, but I really gotta act like he's smarter than me when I can tell he lying just from the way he talk, like the cadence in his voice. I can tell he's lying, and he's sitting up here talking to me like I'm fucking stupid, and I'm literally smarter than him. But I gotta sit here and swallow it. I gotta just sit here and take a deep breath and go along with it because I love him. Girl, what? It's just exhausted. It's an exhausted feeling. It just feels it's exhausting to watch, y'all. I'm gonna just tell you that. Thank you so much. Do you think it's a ceiling fan?
Nah.
Wait, when you
from the corner,
yeah, when you go outside, look at the corner of the house and see if there's some you know that might even get knocked down. Playing in my face gets you a no contact. My cutoff game is strong. I love it. Good for you. I love when the girls don't play these games. Okay, child, you know they ain't fucking with me today, Ray B. I mean, Nola Reed, shy my eyes. They ain't playing with me today. I feel like Kimmy leaves no crumbs at home. Maurice be trying it. Probably not. In the privacy of their home, probably not. But to me, having to do it even in any moment, having to act like you are not as smart as you are so that a man doesn't have a temper tantrum, that shit is exhausting no matter where it's happening. Whether it's happening in front of people or behind closed doors. But let's go ahead and get into y'all are exhausting. Y'all are so exhausting, bro. It's because I'm tired. Bondy, can you review the last episode of Bad Boys? Y'all tell her so I don't have to, please. Because I feel like I'll be saying it at the beginning. Like last week, I was saying it at the beginning of every video, and I would still have people coming to me like, where's the video? I'm having trouble finding it. I did a whole little screen showing everybody how to find it. And they still was like, I don't know how to find it. And then I was just like, I don't know what y'all want from me. I don't know what y'all want from me. Let me show you. Let me show you. Because this is confusing, I guess, for people. I don't know why. I guess I need to just be working on making the website more user-friendly. That needs to be what I'm working on next. Okay. I promise. I will figure out a way to make the website as user-friendly as possible. Okay, so this is my website, y'all. You should download the app so you can get notifications. It prompts you to do it as soon as you come here. You see shows, you go to shows, you go to exclusive content. Bad Boys LA and Jocelyn's Cabaret Watch Along. This is what I did because there was no need for me to sit and make notes about a show that didn't have any story. It was all fighting, all bullshit the whole time. So this is the video. It's free to everybody. That's why I tell y'all to become members of my website so that y'all will know. Okay, listen, see, look, we did all of that, y'all. We did all of that. So we did Jocelyn's Cabaret and then we did Bad Boys LA. The week before that, Jocelyn's Cabaret and all of that. I did it on YouTube, but they blocked it as soon as I was done. I put that on the website too. That y'all gotta go look at the website. I know y'all only want to come to YouTube, you know what I'm saying? I have to figure out a way for y'all to be able to cast these things to y'all TVs and all of that type of shit. I know. But ultimately, I still have to put things exclusively on the website. So if you are not a member, you go to exclusive content, you find it. If you are a member, then you go to members exclusive content to find the content that people pay for. Love and Marriage Huntsville, Bel Air stuff. There's a difference between the two. This is free exclusive content because it's exclusive just to the website, but it's free. The members, they get member exclusive content, which is Love and Marriage Huntsville reviews. Okay. If you are a Baby Blue member, you don't get access to everything. So if there are certain years where I was doing Love and Marriage Huntsville, you don't have access to those years, then you don't get to see all of the reviews. If you're a Royal Blue member, you get access to everything. Baby Blue members get you access to certain things and all of the new things I have. So that's why y'all can see all of this stuff. Okay. All right. So with that being said, let's get back to Marriage Bootcamp. It took you a while to figure it out? Okay. I will definitely be working on making it more user-friendly, because I realize that y'all are having a hard time with finding that tab up there. So yeah. Okay. So Marriage Bootcamp was extra fucking deep this week. I don't know if y'all paid attention. Okay. But the shit was deep. All right. So there's an interaction between Lola and Emmett. She's all over the place. She's asking him for help, but then she's doing it herself. Like, can you help me with this? And then she'll hurry up and go over there and grab it. It's giving manic. Is what it's giving. Okay. And it makes me feel like if they are not on drugs, that there's something mentally that needs to be prescribed or diagnosed. Okay. Like something. Lola is not she's not in control of herself all the time. And I don't know what that's about. Anyway, then she tells him that he needs to put on a shirt when he's walking around the house. Just don't be walking around the house with your chest out. Lola, go get yourself together. Like, this is when Emmett should be like, I'm gonna walk around with no shirt on if I feel like it. Go get yourself together. Like, we're not gonna argue about stuff like that. Like, that's stupid. Like, I don't even understand. Mary Spark was like, well, thank you for the super chat. I sent an email through the website because I couldn't access it. I updated from Baby Little World 2 months ago. What couldn't you access? And you should send me an email to bondy.brittany@gmail.com. Yeah, send to my actual Gmail account. Send an email to bondy.brittany@gmail.com if y'all have issues with the website. I get y'all emails. I'm usually trying to comment as soon as I can. There is an issue that we are having that my tech people are working on to try to figure out why people are being unsubscribed after 1 month. It happens to more than one person. So I'm trying to figure out what's going on there. They be knowing about your website because they just want it on here so they can comment. Oh, okay. And that's fine, but it's not, I don't know, I mean, I feel like if you go on the website, you can comment like on the video. But I guess only when you're on your phone, I believe, or something along those lines. We're working on it, you guys. I know it's not YouTube, but it's my own platform, and it doesn't belong to somebody else, and it can't get snatched from me at any moment. So there's that. Um, so if there's content over there, just go watch it over there. Um, what was that in my notes? Lola's picking at him. Then she tells him to be a little nicer. And I was just kind of like, girl, I understand like him being exasperated with Lola. Like I totally get it. Like I understand him being tired because um yeah, no, I'm trying to figure out what's going on with that. Because I had like 2 emails with people being unsubscribed, and I just don't know why. I don't know why, because I'm not doing it. So we're trying to figure it out. But it's like my person has to talk to the tech team and all of that shit. So it just be taking a minute. Dr. Ish tells Judge Lola. Oh, Dr. Ish tells Judge that Lola goes from one topic to the next without finishing the last thought. It's called Flight of Ideas. Lola seems to try and instigate an argument between Rich and Mariah when they're talking about the tattoos that they have. And Lola asks if Mariah has Rich tattooed on her, and she says no, she thinks that's a jinx. And Rich wasn't saying anything. He was just kind of sitting there. And then Lola is like, well, Rich doesn't think so. And she was like, oh, well, where's my name at? And he was like, I'm not asking you to get my you know what I'm saying, to get my name tattooed on you. It was kind of like she was trying to instigate the argument, y'all. Was it just me that felt like that? Lola gets really gets on my nerve with all her passive aggressive commentary. Yes, she does. She absolutely does. And that is a jinx. But I felt like she was trying to start an argument between Mariah and Rich, and it worked. Because Mariah then was like, would you get my name tattooed on you? And he was like, no. And then she ended up getting her feelings hurt. And I'm like, why are you getting your feelings hurt when you knew he wouldn't do that? And you just said that you shouldn't do that. But this is what I'm talking about. Like, it was just like she was trying to start shit. And I feel like Dr. Ish and them are starting to pick up on the fact that something is wrong. They didn't say it, but he said, I'm starting to, feel like something is amiss here. You know what I'm saying? So they have to tell their story, like their origin story. And it's 2 painful stories and 1 happy story. Lola, Kay, Rich, and Lyrica go with Dr. Ish, and everyone else goes with Judge. So they separate the couples because they want the couples to tell their stories in front of each other for the first time later on. So Kay says that her high school sweetheart always told her that she wouldn't be a singer. But then when it was time for her to go to college, he was like, why do you want to go there? There's so many pretty girls there. Like, why do you want to go there so that you can be up against all of those pretty girls and they're going to make you feel ugly? He was tearing her self-esteem down. And this is what I'm talking about when I tell y'all that this is the shit that niggas will do. Because it happens a lot. It happens a lot with this tearing of a woman down because she seems to be like shining brighter than you, and you want to have her, but you don't want other people to have her, and you don't want other people to see how brightly she shines. And it's a jealousy of her. It's a jealousy of other people seeing her or having access to her. So you try to beat it out of her instead with your words or with your fist, depending on what the relationship is like. You know what I'm saying? But the way K. Michelle talks about the way the dude fucked over her self-esteem, it makes me feel really bad for her. And sometimes things can be handled by parents and sometimes they can't. Like, once you get into those teenage years and you start falling in love and having those toxic ass relationships, there's really not a lot your parents can tell you. You're just gonna have to figure it out for your fucking self. Like, something tells me that people tried to tell her to leave him alone and she wouldn't until she basically was almost destroyed. But she did get rid of him eventually. Caston talks about how he witnessed a drive-by shooting at the age of 10 or 11 growing up in Memphis. He just saw a lot of violence. And he learned at an early age that he had to control his anger so he would not end up getting hurt, because niggas that don't control their anger in the hood get hurt. A1 had a cousin set him up, and I was like, child, why something similar happened in my family? But A1, his cousin, called him to go and drop some drugs off to her boyfriend. And when he got there, dude held a gun to his head and all of that. And that was very traumatic for him, which I understand that it would be. Like it was, listen, I'm not even gonna get into it, but it when I tell y'all be thinking like, I wish niggas would realize how uncool street shit is. I know they think it's cool because they've been taught this toxic bullshit. But if you see what this shit has done to some of the most beautiful souls that I've ever known, like people who I love so very deeply, I have seen how street shit can destroy them. Like turn them into people that don't feel safe in their own bodies, people that don't feel safe in their surroundings, that are constantly on edge, that are constantly worrying about somebody doing something to them because of all of the things that they've had to do in the life that they live. That's not a life to live. Y'all, I feel like I learned at an early age I didn't want to look over my shoulder all the time. And people just don't get it. They don't. It's like they're not worrying about it until they get tired of worrying about it. Like you're already worrying about it, but you think it's par for the course, right? And eventually you get so fucking tired of that shit. So I feel like, what A1 went through is no different. And I really wish that off jump, before these young kids get into this bullshit, they realize what they're about to like embark on. Like, and I know y'all don't get it a lot of the times, and y'all don't want to hear when people are telling you this shit, but you don't know what you're gonna give up. Like you think I'm gonna go in and out of it. You have no idea the shit on the inside of yourself that you are going to give up when you decide that you want to be involved in street shit. Like I'm just saying, y'all, I'm only 33 years old, and the type of shit that I have seen happen to my people because they involved in shit that they thought, or the hustle and all of that. Okay. And now it's bleak. It's bleak than a motherfucker. It's real sad. It ain't nothing glitz, glammy, or fun about the shit. It's just real paranoia, scary. Why is the energy like this? Like it's not good, y'all. So I really wish kids would get out of the mind frame of thinking that shit was cool. Rich talks about how he was bitter towards his dad because of the things his mother would say. So he blames his mom for him not opening up to his dad. That was basically what Rich said. Rich let us know. Excuse me. The reason why he is a creep and treats women badly is because, like a lot of black men, he resents his mother for his father not being around. Girl, we'll never know. We'll never know why ultimately the conclusion that they come to in their mind is that the mom who stayed and didn't leave is at fault because the father could not do what he was supposed to do. And it doesn't make sense because you as a man know that you got to do what you got to do. And when you don't do what you got to do, it's because you chose not to, not because you couldn't. You see what I'm saying? So I feel like Rich was basically saying that his mom spoke badly about his dad to him, and that made him resent his dad. And then his dad died, and he didn't have time to open up to him like he wanted to because he was angry on his mother's behalf. And I understand that. And that's why I feel like women should not do that. But I also feel like the truth of the situation is the truth of the situation. If your daddy is a bum, if your daddy is alcoholic, if your daddy is a drug addict, if your daddy beats me, if your daddy cheats on me constantly, like if your daddy is constantly disrespecting me, then that's what the fuck it is. That's what the fuck it is. And you need to deal with that. Deal with that. Don't make it seem like it's your mom's fault because she would not continue to be abused so that y'all could be in an unhappy household together. Like what? Because that's literally what it feels like sometimes. You're mad at your mom because you feel like it was a selfish choice for her to leave him instead of staying in something that was unhealthy just so you can have access to somebody that wasn't present in the first fucking place. Because if they were present, then they would be present whether they were in the household with you or not. But whatever, child. Y'all know that Mariah was grape juiced twice in her life, and it made her feel safer in relationships with women. Lola went from comfortable life with her mom and her dad being together, and then when her mom and her dad divorced, her mom had to move into the projects and struggled. And Lola felt like she had to choose between the two, and of course, she chose her mom. Okay, I think she said that her people, no, that was A1 that said his people broke up because his daddy was an alcoholic. Emmett says that when he was 14, he was arrested, and when the police talked to his mom, he was sitting in the back of the car, so she didn't see him. But the way she screamed and fell to the ground because she thought they were telling her that he was dead, it stayed with him. And I think that's what made him realize he didn't want to be involved in no street shit. Meaning that I don't want to sell drugs. I don't want to make it my business to be fighting and killing people. But ultimately, that doesn't mean I won't use the drugs because I'm in music. And that's what musicians do, right? Okay. But they all can't talk about whatever they created on this board because it was, like I said, it was an album cover. I didn't mention it was an album cover. It was an album cover, but it's two sad moments and one positive moment. We didn't hear any of the positive moments, girl. All we heard was the sad shit that went on in these people's lives, but they can't share it with their partners until it's ready for everybody to present. So after they talk about what they wish their younger selves would have known about being an adult, and Mariah says she wished her younger self would have known how costly certain lifestyles are, meaning you had unrealistic expectations for a long time, and you're probably financially struggling right now because y'all think that being responsible is stupid. Y'all, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I know people be mad at me because they feel like I be on soapboxes all the time. But I don't know what else to say to y'all sometimes. Like, I don't know what y'all want me to say about situations, besides what I'm going to say. And what I'm going to say is that Mariah is what? 30 something years old. So that means you spent most of your 20s living your life in a way that you thought that you was going to be able to sustain, and you realize that you can't. Yeah, because y'all wanted to be irresponsible. Like, y'all didn't want to make sure that y'all money was consistent. And then y'all didn't want to put y'all money into things that would help y'all in the long run. Y'all wanted to buy bags and all of this stupid shit and that's what I be talking about when I say all of the girls that be looking like, they got something just because they got all these purses and bags and designer and taking trips and fucking rich niggas and all of that. And then you turn around and they don't have nothing to show for it. And they ain't fucking 30 trying to figure out how you gonna make money now that you're not the young popping girl that can get money off old niggas all the time. You can't trick off the same way no more. So now you got to figure out what you're gonna do when you should have spent most of that time trying to build your own paper. Okay, so that you wouldn't be looking for somebody to save you at this point. But okay, fine. Okay, whatever y'all want to do. Lola wishes that she had been prepared for all the death in her life, and I say this all the time as well, that people need to stop being scared to discuss death as if it's not going to happen if you don't discuss it. It's going to happen anyway. So you do need to mentally prepare yourself. Y'all have heard me say before about how I have conversations with my mom. You know why? Because I feel like death is not the end. And I also feel like if we have conversations in life, that means when she does die, I'm expecting a certain level of understanding to be there, regardless to whether her spirit is on this earth or, her body is on this earth or not. I'm expecting your spirit to still be connected to me. And that is the reason why I don't see an issue in speaking on the fact that it'll happen, because it will. And we need to be prepared for it. And we need to understand what's going to happen after and how we're going to deal with our emotions. If people feel like they should not talk about death, they are sadly mistaken. I think you need to get your children understanding that death is a part of life in a way that they can understand. It doesn't have to be grotesque, but you also don't need to have them blindsided by it in a way that they feel like is so traumatic they can't get over it. Okay? Now, I feel like Lola had a lot of death in her life, but so did I. I'm just saying, yeah, I've been losing people constantly my entire life. Like first grandfather died, I might have been 1 or 2 years old. My mom's dad died when I was 6. My grandmother died when I was 8. What else? Who else? I had my auntie Marcel died when I was like 12 or 13. Then after that one, it was Katrina. We all got separated. Then my cousin Chubby got killed. And then, oh my God, then my dad died. And then my grandmother got dementia. And eventually she died. Like, I've been losing people my entire life. Death is a part of life. Everybody has an expiration date. Everybody has a time that they're going to exit this plane of existence. It's okay. It's tough. It's hard. It's a hard pill to swallow. But the more you understand what it really is versus how you perceive it, the less it's painful for you. I'm just saying, like, to me, it feels the more you understand, the less the pain can resonate the way, a lot of people let pain resonate all up and through their body and they hold on to it and shit. And I feel like Lola has done that. Lola has let a lot of the death, her friends, all of that. I think she's let that shit resonate all up and through her body to the point where she's constantly trying to vie or push away the emotions from it instead of dealing with it and moving on from it. It's a feeling that keeps coming up and she'll do something to dull it. Like she said, she self-medicates. Also, when Emmett was talking about he wished that he knew what it would be like when he got older, meaning that he would feel like the same person. He's like, I don't know why I thought I would feel differently, but I feel like I'm the same person. I've grown. I'm like, yeah, I don't know why y'all think you're gonna have another stream of consciousness once you get older. Like, you still gonna be the same person with the same memories and the same understand. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't try to expand your mind as you get older, then yeah, like, essentially you are just the same person with the same thoughts. But you're supposed to like expand your mindset as you get older and just essentially keep who you are as a person. Like, yeah. So I think it's weird. Like, what did he think was going to happen? I was confused by that when he said, like, so what did you think was going to happen when you got older? Did you think you were just going to have like a whole different life, than the one you were building? You see what I'm saying? Like, I think people really do feel like somehow in the future they're going to be able to be something different if they're not working towards it in present. Like, I don't know how y'all, I think that's probably what he meant. Feeling like my life was going to be better, even though I haven't really been doing a lot to put myself in that position. Then Lola brings up him being afraid of the dark. And I was like, why are you laughing at that man being afraid of the dark? Y'all really do be sitting up there acting like some fucking tweakers. So Caston says he wished that he would have known that weed was going to be legal, which was a joke and made everybody laugh for the most part. But Dr. Ish and Judge are watching them, and they feel like this is another way where he's telling jokes so that he can be invasive. And he's also very indecisive, which causes issue between him and K. Michelle because it comes off as indifference. Did anybody else notice that he doesn't call her Kimberly? He calls her K. Michelle. I think that's so weird. You've been knowing that girl since she was Kimberly, and you really like refer to her as K. Michelle. Like, it just kind of seems weird to me. Anyway, so they talk to the kids. Y'all know this when they bring out the children that's supposed to be you so you can talk to your younger self. This is a very powerful exercise that they do on this show. And I know a lot of people feel like, are we putting the kids through too much? But I personally feel like these kids are actors, so it's a gig. Also, I feel like there are therapists all over the place on the set of this show. So there should be child labor laws in place to protect these children. Okay. But also I feel like some of what's being said, these kids need to hear, especially the little girl that played Mariah Lynn. Also, can y'all please stop letting the same kids play several different characters? Because I saw that Emmett and Mariah's person was the same, and I really would have appreciated for y'all to get a little boy to play Emmett instead of making that little girl put on a baseball cap and a baggy shirt and act like she wasn't the same little girl that came out to be Mariah Lynn's person. Like, that was just weird. Do better next time. Thank you. But ultimately, Breeze, weak adults, they will crumble in life. It's exactly. And I feel like a lot of what people don't understand is that your child's childhood is supposed to be preparing them for adulthood, not hiding everything from them, thinking that all of a sudden when they're an adult, they're going to be able to process these things that you haven't taught them how to process because you were scared that they were too young to process them. Well, no, you know what I'm saying? Being cheap is what they're doing. I agree. I agree they are being cheap. But yeah, so the kids come out. Kay goes first, and she's crying off rip, about how she loved music and how getting an abusive boyfriend kept asking her to give up her dream. That's another thing. Women, can y'all hear me? This is another thing that kills me about men. Men are often asking women to give up dreams, to give up things they want for themselves. I don't really see men having to deal with that. I think a lot of you men don't have any dreams, or y'all don't have any aspirations. y'all can't really think beyond paying for the things that you want. So getting a job. But I feel like a lot of the dudes that I came up around, niggas didn't have no real dreams outside of rapping or being in a sports, and they didn't have no real dreams outside of that. So once those dreams fall for them, they never come up with anything else. And women, on the other hand, I feel like will have large, wide dreams that can shift and change a lot of the time. And I think boys or men will tear that away from a woman. And I just don't see women doing that to men. I feel like I see women, unless you like one of them shitty ass mamas, but like grown men in relationships with women, I feel like I just don't often see women requiring men to not have a dream for themselves so that they can be with the woman needs them to be. Like, I just don't see that in relationships at all. Um, and so to me, I think it's so weird the way men do that, and they're excused for it. Like, it's almost like it's expected for them to try to crush your dreams and tell you that you can't accomplish those things and you shouldn't. Like, I hear so many women like ignore when their husbands don't support their dreams. Like, y'all, that's not a good thing. Like, you could do a lot of things, but see, that's one of the things that I won't like, no, we don't need to be together. If you can't support what I want to do for myself as a person, then we can't be together, because you don't want me to be me. You want me to be there for you, and I'm not a servant. So no, we're not doing that. Okay. Yeah, most of us push them to find a dream and be better. At least that's how I feel. That's my experience, is that women are, usually the ones supporting men to find and live out their dreams, versus how women are expected to give theirs up for a man. You know what I'm saying? The little girl asked K Michelle if she was going to be happy when she got to be her. And Kay says no, but eventually you will long to be Kimberly. You will long for the days when you were young and carefree, and you won't want to be Kate anymore. And I'm like, I need for K Michelle to blend both of her personalities and come to terms with her shit, because some of me feels like K Michelle likes to be unhappy. It makes me feel like she doesn't want to be happy, because I feel like these are things that K Michelle should have already went to therapy to talk about. These are things that K Michelle, like all the surgeries you didn't had, and they haven't made you go through any type of like therapy. Like, she somebody need to be talking to somebody at least twice a week. You know what I'm saying? Because for you to not be happy with everything that you have accomplished for yourself, like, that's sad. Why are you not happy, bitch? Like, what's that about? Like, y'all, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not saying it like I don't understand what it's like to be depressed, but I also feel like at a certain point as a woman, you learn that your happiness is your own decision. You see what I'm saying? Angst and pain are maybe her musical muses. Oh, right. So I have to stay in that space because that's where I am the most fruitful. Yeah, you got to learn how to compartmentalize. You got to learn how to compartmentalize better than that, because life needs to be more than, being a Mary J. Blige song just so you can, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I know that's how they think about it, because people write from their pain. But I also feel like people should be like progressing beyond the pain as well. So like, if you're going to write a song about heartache, please write a song about how to get over the shit for the girls who need the lesson, because they act like they don't know how to get over it once you've been through it. You know what I'm saying? Caston says that his grandma died when he was in the 3rd or 4th grade, and that caused a lot of anger. And he grows to control his anger because, like I said, growing up in a tough, area of Memphis, he had to learn how to control himself so that he would not get in situations where he would get hurt. Gangsta Boo went next. Her mom had a drinking problem, so she started writing. She met people to inspire her. She made a lot of money, but then 20 people died in 7 years. She was rushing through it, which is another thing that made me feel like she might have been tweaking. Her friends, her dad, and her brother. She says now her mother is her strength, and she speaks to the universe. She has really good days, and then she has really good bad days. She says she gets lonely, and she doesn't want her younger self to self-medicate. It made me sad for Boo, because to me, it sounded like whenever Gangsta Boo's mom and dad broke up, the mom did not recover and became an alcoholic to deal with the pain of losing her life and her lifestyle and her comfortability and what she wanted for herself. And now she living in the hood, going from a comfortable life to that. That's traumatic as fuck, especially depending on what the marriage was. You know what I'm saying? So she probably went with her mom because she felt bad for her mom, and then her mom felt bad for herself and decided to alcohol, self-pity, stay in the hood for the rest of my life instead of trying to get on my feet and finding a way out of those circumstances for me and my daughter. See, that's when people decide they're just gonna fall on their elbows and stay there instead of deciding to do something different and figure it the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just resigned to be in the space that you're in. So I wonder, like, when did her mom finally be able to become her strength? Because to me, it sounds like your mom spent a lot of her life being weak to the pain that she felt. And what I mean by weak to it is that you allow it to control you and you don't at any point take control of your life and release the pain so that you can make better decisions for you and your daughter. Because now your daughter is looking like a drug addict. And I wonder if it's because you didn't feel the need to heal yourself. Emmett talks about his dad um being a married man, and so he wasn't there for him because he was a married man with a family. Emmett gets really emotional when he realizes that he didn't feel safe. He didn't belong to anybody, so of course he didn't feel safe. Everybody is crying at this point. He says after a while you're gonna get tired of feeling bad about yourself, and you're the only one that can change it, which makes me feel like Emmett is probably more inclined to stay clean than Lola is, but we're gonna see, because I could be wrong, but something about that, it made me feel like he seems less out of control than she is. And I don't know if it's because he handled his shit better or what. A1 talks about his parents divorcing because his dad was an alcoholic. Everybody, people was alcoholic. His so Pam left A1's daddy because he was an alcoholic. And then he says that he felt neglected after that, which makes me feel like Pam went out into the streets to be a thought pocket after her and her old man broke up. And he started hanging out with the wrong crowd and selling drugs. A1 says that, you know, you got to love yourself. And when he said that, I said, A1, I really hope that you learned that from this. Um, because I feel like that's your biggest problem, is that you don't love yourself, you don't respect yourself, and therefore you don't have, because you're a compassionate person, but you don't want to be the person that you are, because I think you think the real person that you are is weak. And I don't think that's the truth. I think that, you know, A1 is just somebody that just really needs help understanding his emotions, his past, and you know, just matching those things up so he can have clarity. But he says the conversation that they had about his past helped him close some doors. And I really hope that it did. He seemed more clear during this episode than throughout many of the previous ones, y'all. Like, I just want to say, like, he would seem high, he would seem foggy, I don't know. But right now, A1 seemed very much like the best of himself in this episode. And it reminded me of why I kind of didn't hate him as much at the beginning. And then over time, it just became like, damn, A1, you so toxic. And you could tell it's because niggas be mad. Niggas be in themselves angry and don't want to admit it and just act out in all of these crazy antagonistic ways, saying crazy shit because they angry at somebody. You know, it's just a whole bunch of subliminals. Your whole life is a bunch of subliminals. Like, deal with your issues so you can stop throwing out subliminals to everybody. But A1 definitely, yes, he handled himself so well this episode. I was proud of him. In the confessional, he says, oh yeah, I said that part. Lyrica goes next. And y'all, when they said it was Lyrica's little sister and not her, Lyrica broke out, like, just broke into tears. I was crying the whole time, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. As soon as Lyrica started crying, I was out of there, bro. I was out of there. That cry that she had broke me the fuck down. It was like you could just feel it, like in the way it sounded. It was just such a hard cry. I'm like, girl, you crying that hard over the loss of your sister still? Like, it, I feel like she did a whole album and talked about it. And I feel like I still don't see that she resolved that pain for herself. If it can be brought up so strongly like that, shit had my heart hurting for her. But she talks about how Adia, her sister, died when they were 3 because they were twins. Hey, D. And she Instantly starts crying. A1 comforts her and stands behind her until she's good, and she tells him, I'm good. And I was like, you better do it, A1. Okay. But I like how Dr. Ish went over to her and told her, listen, this is gonna help you, and this is your chance to say goodbye. You never got that chance. And he said that they needed to switch it up with her because she wasn't really connecting, and they needed to like jar her out of that and like really hit home so that she could like let go, because she wasn't letting go. She wasn't letting anybody in, and she was kind of being a bitch and keeping herself guarded at the same time. So they had to break Lyrica's ass down, and that's why they brought her sister out there. And it did what it needed to do. She needed to release. But she talks about how her sister and her were premature. They were sickly. They had to have a lot of surgeries and blood transfusions, and Adia didn't make it by the time they were 3. And she still remembers it. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure she does. She tells her about her life now and how she feels like Adia sent her son Ocean. The little girl says that I never left you and you're gonna be okay. Y'all, it was heart-wrenching. Rich was another one that had us all up there trying to hold the tears in. Rich talks about him being angry because his parents divorced. And it's when you feel like people need to get their kids fucking therapy, bro, just to check in and make sure, because you never know how long it takes kids to like process their emotions, especially when they're young. But either way, he knew, because the little boy said, well, was I good? I'm not good enough for my daddy. And Rich was like, nah, you're going to know that you're good enough for your dad. But there are things out of your control that are going to make it hard for him to be the father he needs to be. That sounded like he was blaming his mom. And then he moves on, and he said, you're going to move on with your mom and it's going to be great because she loves you, but you're never going to move on, emotionally, because you're always going to know that you never really got to know your dad. And then he said, it's going to take finding that other special person so that you can feel whole again. And I said, no, Rich. No, Rich. Like, I know no one wanted to stop and tell him this, but no, Rich. It's not another person, Rich. It's you. Rich, I know, like, men don't like to admit this, but y'all really do need women, and y'all don't even realize that y'all do until your ass is 44 and realize that everything you thought mattered over creating those bonds and relationships with the women who may have loved you, doesn't matter now. And now you wish you had someone that supported you in that way, and you think that you're laying down with Mariah because she's beneath you and all of that. But the truth of the matter is, you and Mariah are the same fucking person. Essentially, y'all have the same problems. Y'all are handling y'all situations in the same way. Rich, you need to be happy by yourself first. Rich, I promise you, if you went through a spiritual awakening or mental, emotional awakening as a man that you needed to be fully accountable for the way you show up in this world and how you treat the women that you come in contact with, and take responsibility for that and actually want to change that. But it's going to have to come with you being confident in yourself and being comfortable with being alone. And I think as soon as you are, some fantastic woman that's been waiting for a man your age with his shit together, you know what I'm saying, will appear out of nowhere. But I think it takes for you to be comfortable with who you are as a man without another person. And I was mad that nobody corrected him when he said that, because I was like, it's not about finding another person, Rich. You're the other person. You're the one that needs to find himself. You're the one that needs to love Rich and give Rich a fucking break and forgive Rich for being fucked up in the past. Let it go and then move on and be better moving forward. You need to do that, not another person. You know what I'm saying? And it makes me angry with his mother, because I feel like, and now I understand why he could be mad at her, but still, it's not her fault that his dad wasn't there. But it makes me angry with her because I feel like she won't force him to be accountable fully, because then it would make her look bad. Like, are you going to ask yourself why you feel like your son wants to be with the woman who you believe is beneath him? Why is that? Why is that? Is it because he feels like you beat him over the head? Like, his mom has always had, to me, like a coldness about her. And it makes me feel like her lack of emotional support is probably the reason why Rich can't be emotionally supportive in relationships. But he need to get himself together, Because what he was saying just was like, yeah, no, it's not about another person, Rich. Mariah goes next. She and her sister were taken away from her mom, and her sister was taken in by her aunt, and Mariah had to go into the foster care system. Y'all, when Mariah said that, I just y'all, when I was watching them, a lot of times I feel like I could feel how they were feeling in a moment talking about it. Like I know what immense amounts of pain feels like when it's going through your body and you're crying, and how you feel in your throat and the blood, like how it comes to you, feel like a headache. But it's like the cry is so deep and hard. Like I know what that feels like. So when people do it, I feel like I can almost feel what they're feeling. And when she said that they left her in the foster care system, and we know that Mariah got, messed with twice by strangers, I feel like it would be so hard to not be resentful in my life if I were her. It would be so hard to not be angry with every fucking body because they let that happen to me. Like I feel like I really hope Mariah gets the help that she needs as a woman so she can heal, because that's a lot. And I feel like people glaze over shit like that. Like that's not so fucked up to deal with. But your mom gets strung out on drugs. She is choosing drugs over you. Your aunt chooses your little sister over you. You fight to be back with your little sister. But in the process, you get abused. And no one's there to save you. Nobody's there to protect you. But you got to be the one protecting. You got to be the one. Like that's, y'all, that shit is hard. Like I could feel the shit in my throat when she was talking about it. I was just like, oh, Mariah. Like, oh, Mariah. Like that feeling of them leaving her behind on top of being, girl. Oh my God. Anyway, the little girl asked, why do they want to hurt her? The people who hurt her. And she says, I don't know, but they will hurt you very badly, not once, but twice. She says she wants her to be happy, and she doesn't want her to think fame and fortune is where your happiness lies. It lies being you and having a family of your own. And y'all, the little girl started crying. The little girl who was acting started crying. The little girl is an actress. Do we really think that it did not resonate that fame and fortune won't equal happiness? What type of situation do we think that a lot of the kid actors are in? I'm just saying, y'all, kid actors, the life ain't always healthy. So part of me feels like that little girl wasn't crying because she couldn't imagine what Mariah went through. I think she was crying because she could absolutely imagine what Mariah went through. Because I believe if you're a child actress, then you see fame and fortune as something you want. So the understanding that it won't make you happy, that's a lot. That's a lot. And I feel like whatever was being said, it touched that little girl. And I feel like it was for a different reason than Mariah thinks. I think it resonated on a personal level with that little girl. Mariah was overcome a lot at such a young age. I think Mariah has learned that the anger is of no service to her mental state. She has granted people grace who do not deserve it. Yes. Okay. Granted grace that people did not deserve. Okay. But anyway, Dr. Ish says it wasn't their fault, and they need to own their story so that they can be free of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, own what happened. It's not your fault. So he says that hip hop artists have a hard time being vulnerable because the culture tells you to be hard all the time. And they were speaking to their inner child. The question is, were they listening? Judge comes out and points out how good A1, Lyrica, Rich, Mariah, Emmett, and Lola did. She just can't figure out what the fuck is going on with K. Michelle and Caston. And I think that's because their relationship is not like romantic. Like, I think somebody asked, like, is Mariah and Rich's relationship so weird, y'all? I feel like Rich and Mariah's relationship is more romantic than K. Michelle and Caston's relationship. K. Michelle and Caston's relationship gives me friends. It gives me friendship that can turn into something else, but mostly just friendship. It's not fire and desire. I feel like Mariah and Rich have more of a sexual like relationship, which is why the relationship is more realistic, because they actually do feel those feelings for each other. Kay and Caston are friends and are almost indifferent to each other at this point. So the relationship isn't coming off as genuine. Gives me business deal. Yeah. So the next day is lie detector test. So next episode we'll have people take lie detector tests. I wonder if they drug test them before lie detector test. If they drug test them before they do the lie detector test to see if they fuck with the, the testing, then that's probably how they're gonna find out that Emmett and Lola weren't clean. I also was wondering, y'all saw at the end of the episode when Lola was looking for her ring and she was asking Emmett about what question he would have for lie detector test day, and he was like, I guess just if you really love me. And she, she was like, why is that your question? He was like, well, I don't know what else I can ask you. Anything else I would ask you would be unladylike. And at the end of the day, like, I don't think you're cheating on me. And she was like, well, I want to know if you're going to really be here, for the good and the bad. And he was like, I've been here for 7 years. That's common law marriage. That's what tweakers do when they want to stay together. They don't never go get married. And when he called them tweakers, I was like, they're showing us a bunch of evidence. This is this is all the evidence to support. Next episode, when we tell y'all that we kicking them out the house for drugs, we're showing y'all the evidence of them referring to themselves as tweakers. We're showing you the evidence of Lola running around the room like a maniac looking for a ring. Because I was like, is it really a ring? Because the way you looking for it, it didn't feel like that. It didn't feel like that at all. And, the way she was just throwing shit around the room. Yeah. And then she throwing all these little slick comments. It's the comments you make out of frustration and agitation when you are upset about something else and you just want to kind of like let off on whoever's nearest to you because you're that aggravated, you're that bothered. She was tweaking. It looked like. I could be wrong, but that's what it looked like to me. Ooh, Lord. I'm just Casting doesn't have an emotional attachment with K Michelle. I don't think so either. I don't think so either. Hunch will be back to friends after that. Yeah. You have sex every now and again, but it ain't nothing too deep. You're not wrong, Bondy. Child, I'm exhausted. But anyway, y'all, that's all I got for Ratchet Reality. I appreciate y'all fucking with me. If you are a member of my channel, then you know I'm going to do Love and Marriage Huntsville right after this. So I will see you guys there. I've already posted a link on Patreon, YouTube community page. There's a post also on the forum. So yeah, I'll see you guys in there in a minute.